DuBois County observes a statewide tornado drill. Purdue Extension educator Jan Dugan joins us for Inform. And in sports, Kurt Gooksell previews Jasper Baseball's 2013 season opener. Those stories and much more are up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news at this hour, the DuBois County Emergency Management Association was kept busy this morning as part of this year's statewide tornado drill. The emergency alert systems began their work of sending out automated warning calls at 10:15 this morning, with volunteers for the county EMA also sending out phone calls and radio transmissions of the warning test to school corporations, nursing homes, and other public places. Emergency Management Director Tammy Miller says all seemed to go well with the system.
We are able to test the entire system all the way down to text messaging and paging systems, and from everything we can see as of right now, everything went through pretty well.
The drill is part of the Severe Weather Preparedness Week in Indiana this week, as proclaimed by Governor Mike Pence. The goal of Severe Weather Preparedness Week is to better educate people about the hazards of tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, and to help everyone be better prepared when severe weather does occur. There will be a second statewide emergency alert system drill conducted tonight between 7:30 and 8 p.m. The Indiana Senate recently approved a House bill sponsored by State Senator Richard Young to give local authorities options when using federal and state transportation funds. Young says trading federal money for state money allows for local officials to finish road projects more cost-effectively while also abiding by state regulations. House Bill 1067 details Indiana's participation in a federal program to allow for greater flexibility in local transportation development projects. Projects that use federal funds are held to hefty national construction standards and tend to cost about 30% more than state-funded projects. The measure aims to allow cities and towns to use state funds for road projects, giving local authorities more freedom in road development and financing. The legislation also specifies the exchange rate, as well as the state's procedure for allocating funding to ensure fund availability. HB 1067 passed unanimously out of the State Committee on Homeland Security, Transportation and Veteran Affairs, the Senate Committee on Appropriations, and the full Senate. The bill will now return to the House of Representatives, where the author of the bill will have the opportunity to consider changes made to the bill in the Senate. Senator Young represents Indiana Senate District 47, which encompasses portions of Crawford, DuBois, Harrison, Orange, Perry, and Washington counties. The Huntingburg Chamber of Commerce, in cooperation with Vincennes University Jasper campus, will host the second annual Garden Gate Jazz, Art, Wine, and Craft Beer Festival on Saturday, April 20th. The festival will feature 3 jazz bands, art and food vendors, as well as a wine and craft beer garden. Poco Loco of Cincinnati is slated to open the music session at 2 p.m., followed by Slammer Jazz at 4 p.m. The Wade Baker Jazz Collaboration from Cincinnati will close the music festivities at 6 p.m. The Jasper High School Jazz Ensemble will be performing from the Old Town Hall back porch between performances by each of the 3 bands. All activities of the festival will take place on Market Street behind the Old Town Hall. Huntingburg Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Nick Stevens says in a news release the festival's intent is to celebrate the arrival of spring, and this event will add another great event to the spring calendar. The Art Garden will open at 10 a.m. on the 20th. The Wine and Craft Beer Garden, along with the music performances, will open at 2 p.m. The festival is scheduled to run until 8 p.m. and will be held rain or shine. There are 2 ways to sample wine and craft beer at the event. Paying $5 gets you a wristband and drink sampling privileges, while paying $10 gets you a wine glass along with the wristband and drink sampling privileges. The festival is free and open to the public to attend. Attendees are encouraged to bring lawn chairs for seating. Visitors to the Wine and Beer Garden must be 21 years old or older. Proceeds from concessions will go towards the 4th Street Charitable Endowment. Another Huntingburg event coming up soon is the 15th Annual Huntingburg Car Show. The show is scheduled for Saturday, April 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the historic downtown 4th Street Business District. The cost to enter a car in the contest is $15. Trophies will be awarded at 3:30 p.m. For more information on this year's Huntingburg Car Show, please visit their Facebook page. The minority owner and former president of Holiday World and Splash and Safari is appealing a December court ruling that gave majority control of company stock to his sister-in-law. Dan Cook is appealing the December ruling by Vanderburg Circuit Court Judge Carl Helt, claiming that Helt should have ordered a stock sale. which would have allowed Cook to retain control of Holiday World. Judge Held's ruling excused Dan's sister-in-law Lori Cook from having to sell back majority ownership due to what Held ruled was misuse of the stock's value by Dan Cook and Cook Development Corporation back in 2009, thus making Lori the majority owner of Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Following the June 2010 death of former Holiday World president and majority owner Will Cook, Dan's brother, Dan and Lori Cook could not reach an agreement on the buyout price for the 60% ownership stake that she and Will Cook had. A previous agreement between the brothers stipulated that the surviving brother had to buy out the remaining interest of the brother that had passed away. Lori Cook sued Dan Cook and Cook Development Corporation, the parent company of Holiday World, in January of 2011, claiming that her husband Will's majority ownership stock was worth $32 million, which was about $5 million more than what Dan Cook and KDC had previously calculated. Per the brothers' agreement, the calculation of the value of the stock was to be made based on a formula accounting for the park's value and earnings. Cook is asking the appeals court to issue an order for Will Cook's estate to sell its shares of stock and also to remand the case back to Vanderburgh Circuit Court to set a purchase price for the stock and to give an order facilitating stock transfer. The deadline for Lori Cook's response to the appeal is April 16th. Cook Development Corporation has filed a motion of neutrality in the appeal. National Weather Service meteorologist John Gordon says being prepared for weather disasters is like having insurance. You hope to never have to use it, but you're glad you have it. Gordon says in light of situations such as the Henryville tornado that swept through Indiana last year, Hoosiers should always be prepared for worst-case scenarios. Gordon says a storm watch means conditions are ripe for a storm to form, which may or may not happen. A warning means that a storm actually exists and is probably headed your way, so take cover. Gordon, who presented DuBois County with a storm-ready designation earlier this year, says everyone must be prepared even after a warning is issued.
I came up here with Gary Fritz a couple years ago and we storm surveyed the area. He picked me up. We went across the area. He knows the town. He knew the warnings went out. It was very helpful that the whole warning process worked. It makes me feel good that just because we issue a warning, we're not done.
He says preparedness means having an evacuation plan, an innermost interior room in your home to stay in during storms, and items such as blankets, working cell phones, canned goods, bottled water, flashlights, NOAA weather radios, and so forth. Coming up after the break, the sun was shining today, but there are rain chances ahead in our local forecast. Plus, Kurt Guxell with sports and Inform featuring Purdue Extension educator Jan Dugan talking about how to properly cook eggs as we head into Easter weekend. That's all next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.